Hello everyone, this is Kerry Jones at the National Weather Service in Albuquerque with a brief overview of the Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network, otherwise known as CoCoRaHS. So what is CoCoRaHS? The Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network is a nonprofit, community-based, high-density network of volunteers who take daily measurements of rain, hail, and snow in their backyards. During the month of March, we are actively recruiting new volunteers across New Mexico as part of CoCoRaHS March Madness campaign. CoCoRaHS March Madness is our friendly annual recruiting competition between all of our CoCoRaHS states to see how many new volunteer observers we can recruit during the month of March. As you can see from the map here on the screen, every county in New Mexico has at least one volunteer, but a few, highlighted there in blue, have not yet reported in 2013. Let's do what we can to add to our network this month and continuing through the remainder of the year. CoCoRaHS is made up of over 17,000 volunteers currently of all ages and backgrounds who take daily measurements of precipitation each and every day right in their own backyards. So it's definitely a grassroots and a high density and ever growing precipitation network. Again, it is just precipitation, so we're talking rain, hail, and snow. Volunteers are trained to assure accurate, high-quality data. How does this occur? Well, on the CoCoRaHS website that I'll highlight in just a moment are some excellent training modules that are available again on the web and for anyone that has access to the internet. Once trained, the volunteers collect data using low-cost measurement tools, including a 4-inch diameter high-capacity rain gauge that you see pictured there on the left. In some states, a hail pad, which is a piece of styrofoam board, thick foam board covered with aluminum foil. Here in New Mexico, we don't participate in the hail pad program, although it is certainly an option and it's certainly voluntary for those that would like to participate. As I mentioned, volunteers report their daily observations on the CoCoRaHS website, www.cocorahs.org. Observations are immediately available on maps, and reports are available for the public to view. And in fact, anyone with an internet connection can access CoCoRaHS data each and every day. Here in New Mexico, observations are immediately available on a state map that you see pictured here. By providing high-quality, accurate measurements, our New Mexico volunteers are able to supplement existing networks. Currently, we have 680 active stations in New Mexico, and here's an example of Bernalillo County zoomed in, showing a nice distribution of observers from east to west across the Albuquerque, Rio Rancho metro areas, extending into the East Mountains and areas out towards Stanley, Moriarty, and Edgewood. So here's a short history of CoCoRaHS. CoCoRaHS came about as a result of a devastating flash flood that struck Fort Collins, Colorado back in July of 1997. You can see some images there and some media coverage. A very localized thunderstorm dumped over a foot of rain in several hours here to the west of Fort Collins, while other portions of the city, and here this is I-25, so areas not too far west of I-25 had only modest rainfall amounts. So you can see here in the span of, say, roughly 5 miles distance between A and B here, the difference in precipitation totals was over a foot. The ensuing flash flood, caught many by surprise and caused $200 million in damages. So CoCoRaHS was born in 1998, just a year after that event, with the intent of doing a better job of mapping and reporting intense thunderstorm events. Of course, as more volunteers participated, rain, hail eventually expanded to snow, and maps were produced for every storm showing fascinating local patterns that were of great interest to not only scientists in the local area, but also to the general public. And the individual here, this is Nolan Duskin, who founded the program, again back in 1998. As it turns out, New Mexico was the 5th state to join the network in 2005, and during that time it was really still a regional project encompassing mainly the Rocky Mountains region and then also the neighboring Great Plains. By 2010, however, CoCoRaHS officially became a nationwide volunteer precipitation network and continues to expand today. In fact, CoCoRaHS has quickly become the largest source of daily precipitation measurements in the U.S. So it goes without saying that precipitation is essential for life. It varies greatly, as we all know, with topography, storm type, and season. And here in New Mexico, it really is true that it may pour on one side of the street and be completely dry on the other. A portion of a field, for example, may be pounded by hail, while others nearby receive little or no hail. In the wintertime, and we certainly have seen this play out this winter, snow may pile up in one neighborhood and only dust another if snow falls at all. Rain, hail, and snow are fairly easy to measure, and the data collected are so very important. Here's a couple of great examples of how CoCoRaHS made a difference in terms of warning operations at the National Weather Service in Albuquerque. Here's an event that we documented back in July of 2010. In this case, we had reports of close to 2 inches of rain in the span of about an hour, hour and a half along the foothills of the Sandia Mountains. Note that only a trace of rain was reported at the airport this day, but based on our CoCoRaHS observers, which in our case are also Skywarn spotters and part of our CityNet, their rainfall reports prompted the issuance of a flash flood warning that was very timely and provided some great heads-up information for a flash flood that impacted portions of eastern Albuquerque in July of 2010. In August of that same year, another example, only this time on the west side of Albuquerque, where the reports from our Skywarn spotters, who are also in the CoCoRaHS program, reported close to an inch of rain. And based on those reports, again, we issued a flash flood warning for this area. Note in this case that areas of eastern Albuquerque had less than a quarter inch of rain this day and only 1,500ths officially at the airport. And then one last example from, again, August of 2010. This is a bit of a more dramatic example that occurred in the Farmington area in the Four Corners, where we had a cluster of slow-moving showers and thunderstorms. And of course, this area of the state is poorly resolved by Weather Service radar, just owing to the distance from the radar. And the radar doesn't fully capture the entire storm. Radar was estimating rainfall amounts of less than 1/3 of an inch per hour. One of our CoCoRaHS observers, as well as Skywarn spotters on the northeast side of Farmington, reported an amazing 2.53 inches of rain in, again, less than 2 hours. And that prompted a devastating flash flood that created substantial damage in the northeast portion of Farmington. And again, based on that sole report, a flash flood warning was issued for this area. And thankfully so, because based on radar alone, that product may not have been issued. In addition to rain, as I mentioned, snow is part of the network. Volunteers are absolutely critical, providing snowfall reports. When we do get good winter storms, they have been far and few between the past couple of years, but nonetheless, very valuable information, including not only the depth of snow, but also how much water is contained in the snowpack. We call that snow water equivalent, and that's another measurement that our CoCoRaHS observers provide. Hail data is also on the list, and CoCoRaHS has become one, if not the largest repositories for hail data in the United States. So CoCoRaHS does offer a variety of learning opportunities. In addition to training that I've mentioned, periodic email and newsletters inform participants about how CoCoRaHS data are used in meteorology, hydrology, and other fields. CoCoRaHS is also developing classroom resources for teachers, and by participating in a science project with a local feel, citizens and especially students can develop a sense of community with fellow observers and citizen scientists and raise awareness about their surrounding environment. So lots of opportunities, definitely on an educational level. Is CoCoRaHS data used? You bet. And here are a couple of examples from your National Weather Service in Albuquerque. We use the data in conjunction with our CityNet observers and Skywarn to get a better sense of how our summer monsoon varies from year to year. So with CoCoRaHS, it's like increasing the number of pixels on your digital camera. You get a much clearer picture of where precipitation is distributed, located, and you can really see the variability within a very small geographic area. One other product that we produce on our website is an event map. It's an all JavaScript-based program that includes CoCoRaHS reports during our significant precipitation events that are fairly widespread. And it also includes Co-op, Skywarn, and other networks that we have at our disposal. So CoCoRaHS data are used by many and from all different sectors. There's no question about that. It also is very critical for improved drought awareness. Recording the consecutive number of days, for example, without measurable precipitation provides a very valuable data set. CoCoRaHS is used for ground truthing satellite precipitation estimates, and precipitation estimates of rainfall are used quite extensively, especially during our summer monsoon season here in the Southwest. So no question that CoCoRaHS has been successful, and there's a direct connection here with our office in Albuquerque, providing that real-time report of severe weather that enhances our severe weather warning operations. And of course, we continue to seek collaborators, partners, as we continue to expand the program and the network. If you'd like more information, please do not hesitate to contact Dr. David Dubois, New Mexico State climatologist at NMSU, and there is the email contact on the screen, CoCoRaHS@nmsu.edu. Thanks again for joining me for this overview of CoCoRaHS. And if you have any questions, contact David or myself at the National Weather Service in Albuquerque. Thanks.